bind work?
Bind work that will work with both longsword or two-handed weapons or single-handed weapons. It's more of a general concept rather than weapon specific.
Yeah, weapon doesn't really matter. We just grabbed longswords because of course these are the bindy weapons.
Contrary to what the movies show you.
Yeah. Ah. Yeah. 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 You know.
That kind of thing.
You know how to do HEMA. You know all about it.
That's HEMA. That's HEMA.
So of course, binding typically happens from long point. Yeah, we'll go here. He's left-handed, doesn't change much, right? So for starters, distance is absolutely critical here. If we're weak on weak, I don't want to do any actions to his point. Because like anything, he can just quickly cut around, right? We're not close enough that it really matters. If we're weak on weak, I can just cut around. I'm far enough that if he tries to say stab me or something, I have enough reaction time to compensate for this.
And this goes both ways as well. If we're on weak again and he tries to cut around, this still gives me a tempo to do something as well. It's not like if he does it first, he wins. There's still a lot that can happen before Stretta.
Yeah, we're still fighting. So we're here, and if he tries to do that same thrust to block my attack, I can parry it, and now we're in a middle-ish bind, right? This is a way to get to here. It's all about distance.
And that exact bind there is actually a pretty good example of what can happen. We're here, cuts around, and I'm in here, and this is where a lot can happen. This is where your strategy and opportunity shows.
So spark notes of that previous point, if you're weak on weak, don't treat it like a bind. Just cut around or shoot straight for him. If we're weak on weak, cut around or shoot straight for him. Don't think of any complex actions beyond that. And we gave an example of how to get to middle on middle. Like just from here, and we're just cutting around. If he decides to cut back at me, and I just parry or cut back at him, we get to hit.
Now we're in Stretta. This is what we're talking about.
Stretta, of course, being I can hit him without moving my feet. This is the proper binding distance. If I have to step to hit him, we're not really close enough to have a proper bind. Like if we just bind our swords for a second, and if I go to max, so don't move. If I'm at max ascension and I can't hit him, right? Then we come to a bind here. I'm still good enough to cut around and go freely, because I still have enough time to react. As soon as we're in Stretta, I can hit him without stepping. I don't really want to go away from his blade without a particular opportunity, and that's gonna be the main subject of today. All about opportunity.
Which is a result of your distance.
Pretty much. So if we're just middle on middle, gee, what do I do here? In this case, his point's up, so I can feel pretty safe snapping around, right? And I'm still keeping my blade to his, making sure I'm safe. If his point's more on me, I don't want to leave his blade. I'm gonna walk right into his point, right? So it's all about dealing with that point, because if it's on me, how do I deal with this? Well, if you've been doing HEMA for more than like a week, you know your windings.
Basic winding 1.
Yeah. You have your 4 hangings, right? Boop, 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 boop. Those on both sides are your 8 windings. There's nothing more beyond that.
They're useful all in the right opportunity.
It really depends on distance and opportunity. So if we're middle on middle, and I do that wind, right? And he pushes my point off. Now he's giving me an opening to cut at him. Right? Simple.
Either way, yeah. So the opportunity will arise usually from wherever they aren't or whatever opening they just left. Just in Meyer's 4 openings, which are a cross section from right underneath your armpits and from your center line. Center line. So again, if we're both on center, and he pushes my point off, right? He's opened his whole side. So I can just shoot straight for that because his point's not threatening me. Now, of course, if he's good,
he's not going to let me do that, right? So we're here. I take that opportunity and shoot for him. He picks it up, and I go and attack him. He's going to pair this somehow. I don't know how. Okay? And now we've completely reversed roles. I've paired his thrust, and now we work from here. It's all about bind work. There is no one way to do it. It's opportunity based.
It's not something you want to think about either. Like, you don't want to think, I'm going to create this opportunity, because you think that you get into a cascade of overcomplicating your natural movement.
Like if we go back in your points directly at me, I don't want to think, oh, his point's here. I can do this, 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 and this. No, it's okay. I want to take his point and get to it, right? Simple. If his point's not at me, I don't need to worry about trying to take his point. I can just shoot straight for him.
And now that his point was at me, I have to deal with the point, because that's what I naturally want. I don't want to get stabbed. So I naturally say, oh, I'm going to take care of his point, and now his entire right side is open for a counter opportunity. No, it's pretty much a simple-ish concept enough. It's not that complicated to really think about. It's just go where they aren't, create your opportunity based on your distance. Like, I am not going to get much from being here. Being here, I can play around. Then being here, oh, then this is not fun. Like, that's when you get into this kind of stuff, and he will throw me back, like in the summer of 19.
Back to the Stone Age.
back in the summer of 19.
The year 19. Yo, do you hear about that Jesus guy, like, in that place called Nazareth?
Where was he? Jerusalem?
Jerusalem.
What? Oh. Ooh.
We do not promote religious beliefs on this channel.
No. Even... no, we don't.
Be gone. So, quick summary, if we're week on week, this isn't a bind. Well, technically it is, but you can't get away with any of your complex actions. No. If you're in here, either shoot for him or just get out.
Yeah. Returning to neutral is never a bad idea if you are, like, feel as if you're in a precarious situation.
Yeah, if you don't know, get out of there.
Alright, we're back.
We're back, it's night.
Yeah.
Slight distraction.
HEMA stuff.
I think where we left off, we said, if we're in a weak bind, either attack him or get out of there.
Right, yeah, and I remember, if it's a weak bind and you don't want to be in there, like, for example, me being lefty, being in this weak bind, I don't want to be here, so getting out of there is probably my most preferred option.
Mm-hmm. And if we're in a weak bind and I shoot for him, we've gone into a middle bind. This is where I want to be, this is where we can work from. In this case, his point's not at me, so I can go straight for him. All about opportunity. And that's the main message. Your distance determines what you do, and from that distance, you work out opportunities.
Like everything in HEMA, it's going to take practice. You're not going to get it your first try. I'm still working on this. This is a newish concept to me.
Best advice, don't think about it.
Yeah, just
if you feel his point's a threat, take his point and get him. If you don't feel threatened by his point, shoot for him.
Also, it comes in a lot with feeling or fooling.
Yeah, fooling.
Yeah. It's a feeling. We can get into that. That's still bind work. Yeah.
It's still, okay, so spark notes the feeling. Another very easy thing. If we're in a bind and he's adding force that way, I can go straight for him.
And then you see, again, I'm in this position. I've exposed my entire left side here, giving him an opportunity to cut around and hit my left side.
And obviously that's exaggerated. What would really be like if we're in a bind, I just had a little pressure here, and he can go around. There's nothing to think about. It's very gut reaction. You feel something, it's an opportunity, take it.
A lot of times you think about it like, oh, do I feel the pressure or do I feel no pressure? That's when you start getting to things like, oh no, like for me personally, if I'm in a bind and I feel pressure, I think, oh, I feel pressure, I think maybe I should try doing a thrust, and I overthink. Mm-hmm. It's about reaction.
The more options you give yourself, the more you can overthink, the more that can go wrong.
Yeah.
So keep it to either, if you're weak on weak, shoot for them, back up. If you're middle on middle, if the point's not at you, cut them. If the point's at you, wind in, stab them.
And if you're unlucky enough to find yourself here, well then, good luck.
Yeah. I mean, we don't need these anymore.
Do it, just do it. Just do it. Zach, no, don't.
Zach, no, don't. Yeah, there. That's all about bind work. Opportunity, taking it when you get it. Okay, anything to add?
Practice it in sparring. That's it.
Pretty much. Gut feeling. Feeling.
Foolin'.
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 Okay, thanks for your time.
That's it.